Excellent. We got Gary from the great state of Tennessee. We got Michael Kormaroff is not here. Maybe he'll show up. We
Well,
got
his name's
John
Amaroff.
Anilli. Hello. We got Jay Terrio. Hello. Louisiana Beer Reviews. And also check out John Anilli at John Anilli YouTube for great reviews. And myself, as always, Thomas Metal 75, and this is your Massachusetts Beer Reviews with some company here for another installment of Wild Card Wednesday. Drink whatever you want and talk about it. I like that virtual beer bar environment. So let's start with Gary. I know he's not using the camera today, but are you drinking a beer with us, Gary? And if so, which one?
Yes, I am. And tonight's beer of choice, because I have to get up early in the morning and I need something to knock my lights out, 40-ounce Hurricane High Gravity.
Jay approves.
No, I don't, because I would never drink a 40-ounce in one night.
Yeah. And John Anilli from the great state of Georgia, what is your great beer this evening?
All right. I am I've got the Kirin Ichiban big bottle here.
Okay.
Oh
yeah. Got it at Super H Mart. I bought a bunch of beers while I was out there and didn't think I had done the Kirin Ichiban, but I already have, so I'm doing it tonight.
Excellent. Jay Terrio, what is your beer for the evening?
Samuel Adams Boston Lager.
Okay, another revisit of a classic, iconic beer.
Yeah, had the 12-pack, so.
Cool. Now, I had a few beers that I wanted to choose from. I'm not doing the Crowler of Genesee 12 Horse because hell, I want to enjoy that with somebody other than just me. So we'll get to that soon enough. I have a Treehouse Brewing Company beer because I just was there yesterday on my way home from the Finger Lakes in New York, going down. I guess it's I-90, which is the Mass Pike. You get off the Mass Pike in Charlton, Massachusetts, where Treehouse Brewing Company is from. This one says, "Let's go Sox," if you can read that, which you can't. And it says it was brewed yesterday on, or at least canned on 10/23/2018. This is called Ma, M-A. It's a tribute to one of the owner's grandmothers, I guess. It is a amber ale at 6.8% alcohol by volume. This is $3.08 for a can. They do it by the can on all of their beers, or by the single bottle if it's one of those wild yeast kind of beers. And this was $3.08 for each of the cans of Ma. So they're either calling it an amber ale, or if you go on Untappd and Beer Advocate, it's a red amber ale. So there you go.
Whenever you said Ma, it made me think of that meme, Mapache.
So yeah, this one is named after one of the owner's grandmother. I guess you call your grandmother a Ma.
I call my mom because she's getting old.
Good.
My great grandmother, they used to call her Ma. Ma.
All right, so
her name was Philomene. All right.
I've only been to this brewery twice now, and I don't recall ever trying this, so I thought it would be a good break from hoppy or New England IPA offerings. So, you know what? How about Gary give us some tasting notes and descriptions of some 40-ounce of beer you got going on?
All right. So, as I said, my beer of choice tonight is a 40 of Hurricane High Gravity Malt Liquor, 8.1%, offering from Anheuser-Busch, introduced in 2005. As Jay was talking about in one of his reviews of this particular product, that it's a Helles Doppelbock beer.
Whoa, all right.
That's right.
All right, so...
It is. An adjunct Helles Doppelbock. Okay.
So, in the style, Hurricane High Gravity is one of the best high-gravity malt liquors. Not the best, but definitely one of the best. I mean, nothing really can top the Schlitz High Gravity or the Schlitz Gold Bull. That's the best in the style. When you first crack it open, all you really taste is sweetness and alcohol at first when it's really cold. You have to let it warm a little so more flavors come out. Otherwise, it's kind of disgusting when it's super cold. But if you let it warm too much, it gets pretty disgusting.
So it's like Baby Bear. It's got to be just right.
Yeah, just right. So when you first taste it, when it's really cold, all you really taste is sweetness and alcohol. But as it warms, you get sweetness up front. It's not really overcloying or sickly sweet, but you're drinking a pretty sweet beer when you're drinking a Hurricane High Gravity. And then you get that sweetness, a little bit of malty sweetness, a little bit of adjuncty sweetness up front, and then in the middle, nice yeasty breadiness, and then in the end, just a little bit of hot bitterness, just enough to balance it out. And surprisingly, it's not really crisp and refreshing, but it is, pretty clean and smooth to drink. Pretty heavy-bodied beer. I'd say it's definitely on the higher end of medium, maybe heavy-bodied. I mean, you're drinking a very macho, manly sort of beer when you're drinking a Hurricane High Gravity. And surprisingly, at 8.1%, you get the alcohol presence, but it's smooth. It doesn't really turn into like a pink bubblegummy sweetness that you run into with like the Colt 45 High Gravity or the Old English 800 High Gravity. It's more like a smooth burn, but it catches up with you. It doesn't really hit you at first, but it sneaks up on you. When it sneaks up on you and gets you, you will be in a category 5 of drunkenness.
Okay.
No thanks.
And you will sleep like a rock.
Or puke like a rock. Here's Gabe.
It doesn't really make you puke. At least for me, it doesn't make me puke because I've drunk enough of this. When I first had it in a 40-ounce bottle, oh man, it got me drunk off my ass and it made me sick as a dog. Now, I'll get drunk for a little bit and then it'll wear off and I'll sleep like a rock without a hangover.
Okay, yeah. So, favorable towards the this particular variety of malt liquor, yes.
Yes, I would. Still Reserve 211, Silver Can, and Black Can are still, my personal faves in the Schlitz High Gravity, but we can't get the 211 triple export here. I have to make a trip to Georgia to get that. Or if I want the, I can get regular Still Reserve 211 here in the silver can, no problem. But, I buy Hurricane from time to time. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. But it's up there. I'd say in my top 5 high gravity malt liquors, I'd say it's probably number 3 or number 4.
All right. Well,
it's definitely an A in the style. I give it about a 93 overall in style score.
Okay. That's a pretty good score from our good friend Gary.
If you like malt liquors, it's definitely one to try, but be warned.
We got Craig Swenson live from New Hampshire on the channel, watching live. Hello, sir. He says, that was a really entertaining review of Hurricane. Personally, I prefer Steel Reserve when I'm feeling randy. So,
what?
Well, we got to get to Gabriel. We haven't seen him yet. We haven't heard from him. He's in the Arizona area. I hear there's a lot of thunder and lightning and rain coming your way once again. So,
not right now.
Well, that's fortunate. But what have you brought a beer? And if so, which beer do you have today?
This one.
Yes, sir.
Oktoberfest, Sierra Nevada.
Okay.
Oh, Sierra Nevada Oktoberfest. Oh yeah, with the Vian Stefano, right? With Vian Stefano.
Yep. You have it in a glass, Gabriel?
It's glass.
Right here.
All right.
Oh,
start pouring that bad boy. We got to get this whole review down.
Eric, I better give you mine for
All right, Gabe. Pour your beer, and Ronald J. Theriot will review some Boston Lager while you pour your beer, Gabe.
I have Boston Lager too.
I find it's interesting that Eric is off of I-90. He's got the top interstate, and I've got the bottom by me. I've got I-10, so he's at the I'm at the bottom strip and he's at the top strip.
We will get to Gabrielle next, but for now, Jay and Boston.
Forget about John Anili.
And then John Anili, yes.
He came. Okay, now
he
got here as third. He got here third. Okay. Well, Samuel Adams has a thick ivory head. It has a lot of lacing. It's a classic 1985 beer. It's copper, I guess, or amber or something. It's 30 IBUs, 5% alcohol. 5.1 or 5? 5. Yeah.
Probably 5, right?
Yeah. You know, the aroma, now, one thing about the Hurricane High Gravity, I used to buy 12 packs of that back before Katrina hit, Hurricane Katrina. I would buy 12 packs of Winn-Dixie and they were $3.99. True story.
Hey.
$3.99 for a 12 pack of cans. But I remember one night I was drinking it and I was saying to myself, oh, this stuff is too heavy bodied. It was like it wasn't the flavor. The flavor was good, but it was like, I said, I'm eating a beer more than drinking it. So I said, nah, when I'm finished this 12 pack, I don't think I'm going to buy it anymore. And it was such a bright, almost an orange appearance in some ways. So I stopped buying it, but I've revisited it a few times since. But that was my experience with Hurricane High Gravity. I bought it right when it hit the market. And like I said, I used to get the 12 packs for $3.99. Now, Samuel Adams started drinking this in 1996. It has a fruity, bready, a very fruity aroma. To me, it tastes in some ways like a Märzen. In some ways, not really, because the IBUs are too high. You see, 30 IBUs, you wouldn't get that in a Märzen. The flavor is somewhat fruity, see, from the hops and the hop resins, and you get a lot of bread. And you get a medium mouthfeel, and you get a drying finish. So I think Samuel Adams Boston Lager is somewhat like a hybrid style. It's a lager, okay? Now, what is it? It's something, but I like it, and I give it an A. I think it's a most excellent beer.
Does it compare to what we think of as the dark lagers coming out of the Latin-speaking countries, those kind of Vienna-style lagers?
No way. Doesn't taste anything like those, because those do not.
Because they're both Vienna-style lagers, and people sort of don't think of the Mexican-style beers as Vienna lagers, but they are.
They are, like Victoria and Negra Modelo Negra. But this is nothing like that. It's like it in the sense that it has a similar appearance, or the Dos Equis Ambar, a similar appearance, but that's where it stops. Okay, the alcohol level's the same, about the same, but the IBUs are much higher, 30 now, think about that. And it's much, like I said, much more hop resin, fruity. I don't know what it's supposed to be, but maybe that's why it became so popular, because he put something on the market 33 years ago that was shocking to people. You know, it was so peculiar, weird. I remember back in '96, somebody saying, oh man, I hate that beer. And I think the complaint was it was too bitter. You know, it's too bitter. But I tried it and I thought, oh no, this beer is good. You know, so I say it's a modern classic.
That I would agree with. And you know who else what was right there with Sam Adams was Sierra Nevada. And I know Gabrielle's got that Oktoberfest from Sierra Nevada from this year, 2018, with Weihenstephaner. So without further ado, if you want to unmute yourself, Gabrielle, and give us some description and tasting notes of your beer.
While we're still young.
Yeah, well, you're still 50.
Why you gotta put me on blast in front of the world?
Okay, well, we're both 30.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
All right, Gabrielle. Let's hear about your exceptional beer.
Okay, it's Not. It's like gold color.
Okay.
What color is it? Gold.
Yeah,
Kind of
red, orange. Yeah, gold. Okay, the light was hitting it funny.
Like like copper.
Yeah. Give us a smell and a taste.
The smell I saw. Just a straight beer smell.
Okay. How was the taste?
Here's a beer like
Excellent.
bready, toasty, caramel.
Mm. And there's the trash can.
A little caramel.
I love trash cans.
Yeah. Here's one for you.
Oh.
No, that's okay. I was kidding.
Sorry, it kicked me.
What else do you get? What else are you getting in the flavor? How does it drink?
Crisp, refreshing. It's like a light October Sammy Adams.
Yeah.
I don't know. A slight.
Did you give it a high score?
How would you rate the beer, Gabriel?
Just a nice lager beer.
That's a perfect rating. We'll go with it. You're liking that beer so far. Keep sipping, keep tasting.
It's good.
We'll come back to you in a little bit for your
All right.
update thoughts. Now I want to hear from John Anili with the ever popular Kirin Ichiban.
All right. So been around since 1990, 5% alcohol, brewed by Anheuser-Busch here in the United States under strict supervision by Kirin Ichiban. I've always enjoyed it. As you can see, it's a nice golden color. It poured with about a one-finger head, which dissipated pretty quickly, but looks like a good standard, American adjunct lager looking beer, which pretty much is. It's got a nice barley malt aroma to it. Not too much there, just kind of like Gabriel said with his, a standard beer aroma. Smells good, tastes good. You're getting the barley malt, a light sweetness to it. Very light. And is more on the medium side with this one. Super sessionable, enjoyable. There's a nice white bready, like white bread crust in the middle of the sip. Little bit of a hot bite on the back end to kind of balance it out because it is a malt forward beer. The finish is super dry, which makes it very crisp. It's clean. It's refreshing. It's a winner. If you like Budweiser, if you like Coors Banquet, Miller High Life, those types of beers, you're really going to like the Kirin Ichiban. It's pretty widely available. $2.99 for this big bottle wasn't too bad of a deal, I don't think. Well, I agree. I'm having a good time drinking it, and I think it's a pretty solid A beer. Somewhere maybe a 94 out of 100. That sounds about right for this one. So very enjoyable stuff. And if anybody out there hasn't had it and they like pretty standard flavors with their beer, nothing too crazy, love this one.
Yeah, and can I interrupt real fast?
Interrupt away.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm looking at the Kirin Ichiban website, and they're saying it's, and I knew this years ago. It's the only major beer brewing exclusively with the first press wort. And they make a big thing about that, how they only use first press wort. They call it the Ichiban Shibori method because they say it gives it the best flavor. And Ichiban means first. So it means
it does say that right on the label. The Ichiban Shibori process uses only the finest flavorful portion of the finest ingredients, and right there, 100% malt. So they are very proud of that that process that they use, like you said.
I love their tagline, which is like, I think it says "brewed for good times."
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Of course, beer is brewed for good times. Come on now, everybody.
Yeah, and the beer is kind of expensive, but they use no corn, no rice. Now, here's the ones I'd like to try.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did try this one, the Kirin Ichiban Kuronama.
Ooh.
That's a dark beer. It's a black beer. Oh, that beer is great. The Kirin Kuronama, but I tried the bottled version. They're showing a can. There's one called the Toratape Hop.
Mm.
Where can we find Toratape Hop? And then there's one called Frozen Beer.
Wow.
Kirin Ichiban Frozen Beer.
An ice beer.
It's like actually.
Yeah. One interesting thing, I bought a canned version. I thought it was a different version, so I was gonna review it, but nothing on the website says that there's another version like I'm thinking there is. But the canned version, as you can see,
wow,
the colors are a lot different. So I thought it was a different beer, but apparently it's not, because I didn't see it anywhere on the website. But it just says first press 100% malt, and it is also 5%. So I guess the can just has a different color scheme than the bottle design. I thought that was pretty interesting.
That silvery look, maybe a different color than the gold will stick out a little bit more and be easier to read. Maybe.
Yeah, and one more thing, and then we got to do Eric's beer because I can't.
Yeah, my world class beer. Yeah.
I can't stay on late. Kirin Ichiban, believe it or not, guess what? It was developed by a German.
Uh-oh.
German master. Yeah, like every other beer in the world.
It always comes from the Germans or the Belgians.
And Belgium was part of Germany until 1790 something. All right, anyway.
All right. Well, cool sounding beers. I've had most. I don't think I get Hurricane in Massachusetts, but I've had all the other beers, and I definitely like the 2018 Sierra Nevada collaboration with Weihenstephaner. That is a really good version of a Oktoberfest. So again, I am drinking some mother flipping Treehouse beer. Oh yeah, get your nerdy glasses on. Get nerdy with your beer here. Okay, again, this is called Ma. So the co-founder and head brewer of Treehouse, his name is Nate Landner, and this is a tribute to his grandmother. And they say it is 6.8%, and they also say that it evolves for several months when kept cold. All right. Well, I put it in this Proclamation Ale Company glass, and maybe that wasn't the perfect glass because it's got some art sketches on it. However, as you can see, this is a very murky looking amber color with a sort of
super murky
off-white khaki head there with some bubbles streaming and a lot of what do you call that, condensation. Yeah. So the nose on this one, hallelujah. Yeah, that is good. That definitely is reminding me of a Vienna Lager or an Oktoberfest in the sense that it has a lot of toasty, bready notes to it. There's definitely a resinous sort of a hop quality to it. I'm definitely getting some grapefruit and some pineapple and some orangey type notes to it. I'm definitely getting some white wheat malt. I'm guessing maybe there's a little bit of an oatiness to it in there as well. Yes, it's a little bit pine sappy in the hop resins department as well. So definitely that nice toasty, bready, almost like a brown bread toasty note is the big predominant sort of a nose mixed with that resinous oil note to it. So does sound like it would be good in the fall. So cheers, everybody. Treehouse beer. Figured I'd pick something a little different besides some of the IPAs that they're really well known for. And this one, they don't list IBU, or yeah, they don't list IBUs, but this one tastes very balanced. It may be like it's a little bit more hoppy than it is malty. So I'm getting some sweet brown bready notes, those toasty kind of crackery notes, but big pine resinous notes and grapefruit and orangey and pineapple-y kind of notes, but big grapefruit notes. There's a little bit, there's like a tiny bit of a chalky kind of a aftertaste to it, if you know what I mean on that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing like in traditional in East Coast, these New England IPAs, how they can use white wheat malt or flaked oats. Maybe some of it's a little bit more toasty in the oat department. I'm kind of getting that fluffy mouthfeel and texture to it. So if you like red ales, you like amber ales, you like things on the toasty side, but you do like your New England style IPAs and your juicier resinous kind of components, this one's perfect. It's drinking on the, I want to say straight up medium side. You could really, from what I've tried at Treehouse, even with their IPAs, this one is just a little bit bigger than some of their IPAs, but you can still pound the crap out of this without any problem. It's, again, it's only 6.8, and it's got this really, I talk about that chalkiness to it because the mouthfeel is almost got like a spicy, yeasty note to it as well. I don't know if that might sort of describe why I'm getting like a spicy, yeasty note, because look how unfiltered that thing is. It looks like a, I don't know, it looks like a very burnt orangey, looks like a really, really red leaf that is on the ground, one of those red orangey kind of leaves. So it definitely looks like that kind of a fall color to it.
It looks like a clamato enchilada, which I suggest we examine. But
Is it really? Huh. I may just have to try one of these days, but I had a bad experience with what do you call those things? Bloody Marys, and I'm not sure I like tomato juice.
Well, you know.
But
that was
Treehouse Ma is getting a 4.3 out of 5 on Untapped, and it gets a 4.1 out of 5, an exceptional rating. And if a Treehouse beer got a bad rating, that might not be good for that company. However, I'm gonna stick with like a. That's a really good question. How would I rate this out of 100? I would probably rate it. I bet you I would rate it a 9. I'm thinking I was gonna say a 90. A 90 is probably a really good rating for that beer.
A-. That's fair.
I think that's perfect for this beer. However, the only thing that I want is that since it's a red amber ale, I want much more malt in my beer. Now, you go to Treehouse, unless you're drinking some of their delicious, I mean, they are good. They're stouts. Some of them are better than the IPAs, in my opinion. But this one just is more kind of if you want a little bit of a toasty note to your IPA, go get this beer. I felt like what did I review? I did a review even on an example. Blazing Worlds, Modern Time. That's an Imperial Red Ale. That's really more damp than this beer. It had really more sticky resinous feel, but it had more of that toasty malt character that I liked. But I'll shut up. 90. I want more malt. Otherwise, delicious beer at $3.08 a can. They limit you to 12 per person.
Okay, so you're saying an A-. I'm saying a 94 for Samuel Adams Boston Lager. I got to get off of this.
Okay.
I know Gary liked his. We're all giving our beers like in the A excellent range, right? So we're all saying that our beers are excellent.
At least Gabriel said it was very good for his beer, and he's eating chocolate with it.
50.
And
Yeah,
I'm
100.
gonna say 50. It's medium.
50. Let's say you went to
No,
churches.
no.
Oh,
What? What did he say?
wow.
You gave it a 50.
Yeah, look.
100.
Does it go good with chocolate?
Yeah,
Cool.
it's okay. Well,
No.
this one, look.
So,
What kind of chocolate is that?
oh, it's the
Whoa.
wow Guinness chocolate. There, Gabriel's going for the gold.
Read it.
It's good chocolate, huh?
Dark chocolate solid bar.
How do you like it?
Kind of blurry
With Guinness taste.
with the Guinness taste. Is that like eating Guinness? Does it remind you of eating or drinking Guinness?
No.
No.
It tastes too chocolatey.
All right. Well,
Too chocolatey.
we're coming to a great Wild Card Wednesday there, Gabriel. Appreciate
Yes.
it as always.
All right,
Yes, you're welcome.
Eric, I'm going to get off of this, but if you want to join us for Canadian Hunter on Friday, and anybody else who's watching or is part of this Canadian Hunter, you won't need much money.
Excellent.
That's Friday night at 7 Eastern.
Gotcha.
Thanks for inviting me, but now I have to go watch the World Series.
World Series with the Boston Red Sox.
Well, John, LA, and Gary, and Gabe, good seeing you.
All right. Hey, too.
All right,
You
guys.
too, Ryan.
All
All right,
right.
catch you later.
Okay, so long, folks.
So long. See you later.
Okay.
Final thoughts from Gary in Tennessee on his beer. I know he rated it pretty highly, but do you have any final concluding thoughts to
Yes. I've been sipping on it for the past little bit, and I'm down just, I'd say, about a quarter below the top part of the label. And surprisingly, as it warms, it takes on a few interesting characteristics that you normally would not expect in a high gravity malt liquor. Me and my friend, we tried this about a month or so back. He tried the Hurricane High Gravity, and he also tried the regular Hurricane. He said, as it warms, it takes on like a fruitiness, almost like a Belgian yeast style fruitiness. I mean, I don't know what kind of yeast strain they use in this, but yeah, I detect the fruitiness. It's like a banana or a slight citrus.
Okay. I've heard banana before in malt liquor. I have heard that.
But it only comes out as it warms. And surprisingly, as it warms and more flavors come out, the alcohol becomes a bit more subdued. Like, you still get that smooth burn, but it doesn't really present itself as an undertaste like it would if it's really cold. But as it warms, it becomes more of a at the end of the taste. That's when you get like the full smooth burn. So it's like, this one's interesting. And I know whenever Jay did his malt liquor project and he did a 25-ounce can of this, he said this could compete with some craft beers out there. And to be honest, it honestly could. And it's a lot cheaper. Like, I think I paid, I think it was like $2.25 at my local Food City I always like to go to. Whenever I made my beer run, where I got 2 tall cans of Steel Reserve, this 40 of Hurricane High Gravity, and I got like 6 of the tall cans of Bud Ice for like $18 and some change.
Not bad.
Yeah, Food City, they like to run some pretty good deals on the tall cans and 40 ounces of beer. So, but their craft beer singles are actually, they run some pretty good deals on the create your own 6-packs as well. I went to a different Food City in my area in Mount Carmel, which is out. It's one of the suburbs of the Kingsport city limits, this Food City. And oh man, they have 2 rows or 2 aisles of just beer. One aisle is just craft beer. The other is just domestic and imported regular beer.
Not bad.
And I saw something funny at that Food City. We went there Sunday just to see, what they had. And I saw a super lifted Ram 2500 Duramax eat a little Chevy Colorado.
I saw a super lifted Crown Victoria the other day when I was in upstate New York, and that just looked stupid.
Well, the funny thing is, I had to run in to the store and get wifey a few things, and as the truck was backing out, the truck did not see this little Chevy Colorado and just crunch. And I have never seen two vehicles get so intertwined together.
Oh my God.
That little Colorado tried backing out and about took the lifted Duramax for a ride.
Jesus.
I was about ready to say, "Oh God, am I going to see a little small truck haul a big ass truck?"
Never say never.
Well, they tried taking off the tire to try to lower it a little bit to get it out from the underside of the Duramax. Didn't work. They tried backing out the old-fashioned way. Didn't work. They also tried taking a sledgehammer to try to get it out. Didn't work.
Crazy.
And what was so ironic was I went through the self-check, and the guy that was in this little Chevy Colorado, I saw him checking out the self-check. He had just went out before me.
Man, he made it, and he made it out alive in that car, huh?
Yeah, he did. All it did was just eat the front end. I mean, the rest of the truck was fine. Eventually they got it free. The only damage he sustained was part of the left side hood was tore up, and he didn't have a front headlight. That's all the damage he sustained. The Duramax just had a few scratches on the back bumper.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a beer run that Gary took, and this all went down. So I guess be careful while you're on a beer run. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, Tennessee doesn't really care about a lot of things. You could definitely tell that the truck was lifted over the 6-inch suspension lift limit. It had to have at least been lifted, I'd say 8-9 inches. And the tires on it were huge.
You've never lived until you've seen that Crown Victoria, which looked much more than 6 inches off of the ground, or 6 feet off of the ground for that matter. But I got to get to our good buddy here, John Anili, and see what his final thoughts are on the Kirin Ichiban, and if he's got any final words and thoughts for the evening.
Yeah, I've always liked Kirin Ichiban. I really like Japanese beers just in general. They're really, they're typically pretty crisp, a little bit drier sometimes than your standard like American adjunct lagers. I like Jay was talking earlier about the 100% malt, the Ichiban Shibori process. You could tell there's something a little bit special about this beer. It's just very enjoyable. As most of the Japanese beers that I've had are, sessionability is through the roof. Just great stuff. And I think, obviously they're trying to appeal to more of a wide range of beer drinkers because it is pretty standard with the flavor profile. There's nothing too crafty about it or anything like that, but it's just very, very good. It's done well. And I would recommend it to anybody. Even the snooty craft beer drinkers out there, I think could maybe appreciate this beer. They'd be more likely to drink it than a Budweiser just because it looks more crafty, if anything. Although if they see the side of the label and see that it's brewed by Anheuser-Busch, they might be turned away from it. I don't know. But good stuff. Japanese beers are good. This one's really great. And, yeah, that's about it.
if I ever go to a Japanese restaurant, I really like Korean Ichiban, but I prefer it over Asahi Dry.
Hmm.
I don't know. I think I like the Asahi Super Dry a little bit better because it's a little bit, it drops off a little bit quicker, so the sessionability is a little higher, but they're all so close, you know. I mean, they're all good. I had Orion the other day at Premium Draft. That one was excellent too. So I haven't had a Japanese beer that I didn't really like. So
Gotta appreciate some quality lacing on your glass. Yeah, so I mean, for this particular beer, as I was saying earlier, this amber, this hoppy kind of amber ale from your Treehouse Brewing Company, they like the world's highest rated beers from the highest rated brewery in the planet of Earth, for God's sakes, in my state. What the hell? I don't think that this is probably what one would consider one of their better or best offerings. However, me still giving it a 90 is completely praiseworthy on that. I'm getting a lot of, again, I'm getting a lot of that spicy, yeasty note to it. Lots of that pine resin, grapefruit, some toasty malt, but and I still give it a 90. Those are world-class kind of flavors in there. And obviously the Treehouse is being, except for their stouts and porter style beers, they're being more of a New England style brewery where they're brewing those New England style IPAs, and that's what they've become so super famous for. And they're definitely doing those notes in this beer. However, I want just more, like I said, more malts, more of that amber red kind of a component that we all love in those styles of beers. So for me to conclude with the Treehouse Amber Ale, it's obviously really world class, but I think some of their other offerings are better, and I think there are some other amber red ales that are maybe better than this. Oh boy, wow! Even though this was canned yesterday, for God's sake, still tastes like it's pretty damn fresh. So yeah, look for reviews coming up somewhere on the channel for other Treehouse beers. I have their Julius, which is their flagship, double IPA haze, and I have another one, Nibelus or Magnificent Nibelus Energy,
Oh,
which is one of their milk stouts that is, I think it's in the 6% range. You could only buy
give me the
two
90.
per person, so I had to have a relative
Mommy's
pick up
coming.
another two of them. So again, I'm going to
Mommy's
give it a
coming.
pretty good beer overall. I would recommend anybody that wants
Mommy's
to
coming.
trade for said beer to
Mommy's coming.
that. I don't know why I can't mute this mofo. But anyways, so I'm going to conclude with that and say, Gary, Gabrielle, Jay, and John and Nilly, thanks for stopping by. I don't know what next week. We can certainly just keep Wildcard Wednesdaying it up, or if anybody's got an idea for a topic, I am all ears. But until then, this has been Thomas Metal 75, and keep tasting those great beers. That's been a wrap. Go Red Sox.
Go Boston, and cheers with my 40 ounce of what remains of my Hurricane High Gravity.